All right, let's have some fun with next week. This is show 1074. We're going to talk about what's coming up between June 30th and July 9th. And the news is I'm going to focus a lot on the next full moon. Yeah, it's on your next Sunday, about 10 days from where you are, 9-10 days. And that full moon is very peculiar because it's on Pluto. A full moon on Pluto means, in general, all the layers of reality, Pluto is going to be exaggerated, over-emotional. Years ago on the early show, we got it down to when things happened with Pluto, it's your brainstem, it's the reptile brain, and that's where the flight or fight is. And there's a startle thing, a panicky thing. We call it eek, a bug. You know, yeah. You know, a huge cockroach got in the house. You're flying all around. Eek, a bug. So this is the startle reflex, comes from the reptile brain. That's where Pluto is. If you want to study up on him, go to the Greeks and the Romans, and all the ancient cultures studied these guys. And we get a chance to study them too. Now, here's the symptoms, when you get a full moon on Pluto. Now, mind you, this isn't going to start for a week, 10 days. I mean, after the full moon, sometimes it takes a day before the lunacy, catches up. What is a full moon on Pluto? Pluto has to do with everything from volcanoes, to nukes, oh boy, epidemics, guns, FBI, CIA, NSA. I mean, I'm clear back here a month before this almost, and, the FBI is all over. So it has to do with things that are unseen. I mean, underground stuff, things that that aren't evident. I mean, a gun looks like a piece of metal, but wow. Epidemics, things under the surface. You can't see the viruses. The nukes are hidden under the ground. Can't see them. The volcanoes. So are all these guys in black suits. Yeah. So all this stuff's going to get out of proportion. One of the Pluto things I've been studying a lot is the asteroid threat. I bagged 2 of them because the astronomers nailed the day they're going to whiz by or do something. And I checked the charts, see what people were doing the day before, and they were scared out of their wits. So I knew there's something going on. These are real. 2027, 2029. Nice thing about astrology, you can look out there a bit. The Mayans said the worst cartoon starts 2032 and goes to 2052. So a bunch of stuff is up ahead there in the late 20s, early 30s, and it all has a Pluto character to it. Now, Pluto's an interesting character. I know that he comes in stripes, because all the animals, like a tiger is Pluto, yellow jackets, a lot of things, snakes and stuff, they have this diagonal pattern. Psychologists studied how to paint their fire engines. The old red ones didn't work, went black at night. They went through all colors and things. They wound up with this electric yellow with diagonals of black. And nature has done that too. Whenever you see that, look out. So, now, here's some side data. It would be simpler if, next Sunday you get this lunacy gets real heavy, eek, a bug, and you have little panic attacks every 6 hours, and the police are all over the TV. And maybe that's all it would be. Depends a little on your chart. But here's some extra stuff. Mercury stumbles along in the sky and opposes Pluto on June 29th. Yeah, you're on that now. If you're watching the Thursday show, Mercury's opposing Pluto. We're going to talk about Pluto a lot. Eek, a bug. Police, guns. I mean, the U.S. of A is kind of crazy about Pluto. We've got a bad Pluto in our chart, opposes Mercury, our ruler. And we've always had scary stuff. Look how gun crazy this country is. You want to solve the guns violence? Just, retire all the pistols. Cops don't want them. Nobody wants them. Let them fight it out with sprays and electrical devices. Well, this show is going to be all about Pluto, obviously, because Mercury's opposing Pluto right now. The kids don't want the guns, and they don't want the police, or the underground, or the insects, or the dog shit, or there's a lot of Pluto stuff going on. While you watch. Now, July 1st, coming right up, Mars opposes Pluto late Saturday night. Now you got young guys, you got heroes saying it's one thing to talk against the guns and the police and the FBI or whoever, or the terrorists, eek a bug, and talk is Mercury. Little kids get caught up with it, and they could have problems. Things are going to bite little kids here on the Thursday night show. Here's Mars, though. When Mars opposes Pluto, the brothers, the heroes, the warriors come out, and they don't like Pluto, and Pluto is overreacting, see. That's the key. Pluto just had a full moon on him, and the cop is all over emotional. He's out of reality. He's having a little lunacy, and he messes with that young man. Wrong thing. Attack. The police are in trouble. If I was a policeman or a Plutonian with tattoos and leather and black bike motorcycles, I would keep my head down here, because Mars will mess with you, and it's going to happen. You'll see it Saturday night. The police are overreacting. Pluto is police, and they're having a little lunacy, see? So now you know the schedule. As you watch it unfold, as you go along, it'll be easier for you to bag that whole idea of inside outside. You'll have inner things too. That's my territory. Pluto's very territorial. Think about all the things reptiles do, and that's what the Pluto stuff is all about. When you have a full moon on Pluto, your brainstem goes eek. Okay, let's look at it day by day, okay, and see how the sky mirror tells us. See, here's Mercury and Mars, and the Sun even opposes Pluto at about 10 days from where you are now. Yeah, the next weekend. So this weekend it's Mercury and Mars giving Pluto problems. Next weekend, whoa, the full moon hits. The men are against it. Pluto really goes gaga a week from now. Remember, the full moon doesn't really happen until July 8th. Oh, a note, this first week in July, a month from now, from then, first week in August, is when Uranus stops in the beginning of the real hurricane and tornado activity. Okay, we got a chart here. We're going to run the moon around the edge. And as the moon makes angles, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, just like a clock. It's simple mathematics. Don't let it scare you. Hexagons and triangles and squares, very simple geometry. At any rate, if you're on the Thursday night show, the moon's in Virgo, right here, and Friday morning early, the last new moon is at 3 Cancer. You're going to see some if you have a little lunacy early Friday morning, if you get up too early from the last new moon. But then here's a square to the sun at dinner time and in the early evening. So you're not going to get much done on Friday. And we're trying to do too much because the moon's in the Jupiter zone. And when the moon goes by Jupiter, even gets close to it, we overdo it. We're going to drink too much, eat too much, laugh too much, yell too much, clown around too much, lawyer too much, lightning bolts of truth too much. So there's going to be some weather here. This is shock the rain god, which results in a Saturday where you can't get much done. And here starts with the square to Mars, Saturday morning. Anger, impatience. Then Mercury's can't get around, can't talk, can't walk, have trouble motivating. And here's Pluto. Ugh. Where is he? He's right there. Power and control trips. Eek, a bug. Who's fighting with that policeman? Saturday, it doesn't mellow out till there's a final sextile to Saturn after dinner on Saturday. Moon in Libra, not so hot during that whole period, Friday, Saturday. These squares to Pluto kind of indicate a lack of control. I can't control my words, Mercury square. Can't control my violence and my temperature and my fire, that's Mars. There's a road rage here. Keep the kids and the young men home, especially through the most of the day, Saturday. And if you start to go out, one of the classics is you hear a dog barking, and go back in and wait for a little while. That's all Hawaiian thing. There was a kahuna, you read the old stories, and they came and said, oh, this guy's all busted up. They woke him in the middle of the night, the Dr. Kahuna, he's a medical kahuna. And he, get your bag and let's go save this guy. And so he goes out and he gets a little ways from his house. He's still on his house path. And he hears all these dogs barking, and the kahuna stops. Says, guy's going to die anyway. Goes back in his hut and goes to sleep. Sure enough, the guy died. Why did the kahuna know that? Well, you're going to hear dogs barking Friday night, Saturday morning. A lot of anger going on, words, heated discussions, and there's a certain lack of control. And the police don't show up in time to stop the argument escalating into a knife fight. So there's a lot of action here Saturday. Stay out of it. Be the observer. When you wake up Sunday, the moon's in Scorpio. Whole vibe changes. Oh boy, night and day. Not bad at all Sunday if you can recover from Saturday. And Monday here, well, we've got the Sun and Neptune, spiritual, artistic, church kinds of stuff. Sunday is nice for that too. So everything mellows out. Little compassion comes out Monday morning. And there's control. Here's a sextile to Pluto Monday night. Moon makes a 60-degree angle to Pluto, and we all say, well, it may be a little wobbly yet, but police are good. Control is good. And there's Mars. We got a trine to Mars. You can get a lot of physical stuff done here and fix things before, you know, what happens next Saturday. Next weekend, the more SHIT hits the fan. So get a lot of stuff done here Monday. This is the time to be inspired in the morning, get work done in the evening, goes right in through Tuesday. Doesn't stop till everybody gets lazy when there's finally a opposition to Venus. And we don't have enough sugar and sweets and fun and pleasure here, and we probably quit Tuesday night after dinner. Moon went into Sagittarius, whole different vibe, Wednesday and Thursday. There's a lot of wisdom popping Wednesday night. Here's a sextile to Jupiter. But there's a square to Neptune, so there may be some wisdom around, but a lot of people were drinking and they were all confused and they probably didn't listen at all. But here's the old Jupiter-Neptune seesaw, 150 degrees. Go with Jupiter, wisdom comes out. Speak the truth. There may be people lying and deception all around. Speak the truth Wednesday night. Thursday, you'll be glad you did, because here comes the judge. As you go through Thursday, it gets more and more Saturn-like, serious. Guys in suits and ties. The judge, the CEO, the manager, the supervisor shows up. He wants to know about money and time. And, you know, I usually not make people very happy, but you know, it seems to free everybody up, because here, you know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday, we had a nice trine to Uranus, and taking care of business Thursday night got us free and independent again. And things are working Friday. Moon goes into Capricorn. You know, it's just lying back in wait like a snake in the grass as you go through Friday, July 7th, coming up on the full moon Saturday, and Saturday night, here you go. Full moon's on Pluto. You know, you won't let your cat sit on your chair. Territory, snakes, bugs, cops, nukes. There's all kind of things to be panicky about. Just calm yourself a little bit, you know, and watch what's going on outside in the kitchen and out in the street. If you got the app, watch when this thing is angular. It's going to happen when at sunset, noontime, sunset, midnight, sunrise, because the sun's right on Pluto. And those are the panicky times when eek, a bug happens. And here's violence, you know, Sunday morning. Here's the opposition to Mars, and nobody is happy, and people are angry. And here's a square to Uranus. They're going to step out of the normal path. So again, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, the violence and the power control trips grow, and on Sunday, a lot of people take action. Hope you stay safe. Pluto, huh? Now you got something to study on, don't you?